Now, there are a bunch of people out there that just don't want to believe the writing that is it's on the wall, and you can really just show it, put it right there in their face, and they're like, "No, no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it." And those of us who said that 2 weeks to slow the spread was never just going to be 2 weeks to slow the spread, and those of you who really insisted that it would never get it worse than what it got, and here we are. We're all around the world. We basically are starting it's a pro-segregation world now, where people are for the government separating people forcefully by way of their vaccination status, not for like any vaccine, for one, and that's the COVID. And I remember talking about this, and I never. This is how. One of the ways that I said that they were going to do this, if they were going to do it, was be that they would put pressure on the businesses in order to kind of force them to have like what would effectively be a mandate, but it would never be like, okay, the government's going to require you to be vaccinated. Like it's just like you can't do anything because the government just says you have to have a vaccination. So, it's illegal to basically be unvaccinated. It's like that. They're not going to do that. That's nearly impossible to enforce. But what they can do is put the pressure on businesses, and then the businesses puts the pressure on you. And that's exactly what they did. But I'm going to show you something, and somebody did a great job of compiling this video of all of these weirdos around the world, around the government, saying that they were against something. Let's actually listen in on this real quick.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
And no federal mandate requiring everyone to obtain a single vaccination credential.
We're not counting on vaccine mandates at all.
I love they got the music.
The federal government is not going to make.
You're not going to see a central mandate coming from the federal government.
That's not the role of the federal government.
At the federal level, I don't have the authority to either mask mandate or vaccine mandate. That's not what we do at the federal level.
Definitely not. You don't want to mandate and try and force anyone to take the vaccine. We've never done that.
There will be no federal mandate. This is a decision that historically.
Oh man, this is good.
Has not come from the
this is absolutely good.
That has not happened.
And this is incredible because what's happening here is that there's a bunch of your favorite talking heads. You see Fauci there, you see Jen Psaki, you see Joe Biden, and all of them continuing to say numerous times that if not only the federal government can't do it, that they're not going to do it. It's not their job. And yet Joe Biden comes along and he says, no, okay, I'm mandating that businesses, including private ones, above 100 or have above 100 or above in terms of their employer count needs to have a mandate. It's all bullshit. I think that this was a test, and this isn't a unique thought here. I'm not saying anything that's actually that profound. It's just what it is. But they say what gets them, it kind of softens you up, okay? And it's almost as if they're trying to figure out what they can get away with. What can I do to these people? And what is their, like, pain limit, if you will? What's the threshold? And it keeps going on, and it keeps continuing. And they're like, okay, they fell for that, right? 2 weeks slow to spread. Oh, what if we move on to maybe a few more weeks, like a couple of months, right? Executive action. Oh, they're not doing anything against us. Okay, let's. What about a max mandate, like statewide, nationwide, whatever, depending on what part of the world that you're in? It's like, oh, they're not fighting back against that. Okay. All right, now we got this vaccine. We want to make sure all the pharmaceutical companies that we have stock in gets lined up. What about forcing people to take that, but not by way of the like us saying it directly? We can't do that. So let's soften them up. We'll never get to that point. So let's just keep telling them that. And then what we'll do is that once these people have now become accustomed to the previous thing that we do, we move on, and then we say, all right. Here's the mandate that we said we wouldn't do, but now it's here. And I think this is we have to point these examples out there because this is yet another example of there's no such thing as a temporary government program. This is one of those instances where people within wherever you're at, doesn't matter, your nation, wherever you're having to deal with this problem all around the world, those people within that have to tell them to go fuck off en masse and then just say and go about their business. Because right now, these people have become more and more emboldened because with each new thing that they're complicit in, they have these little goons, these little mini tyrants. Some of those work for the medical industry. Some of these are just your neighbors who do all of the bidding for them. And now it moves to the businesses where effectively they're the enforcement wing of the state. State says, all right, well, you get grants from us, you need to do this, or you won't get the grants anymore. State says you want to be able to operate legally, well, you need to do what it is that we tell you to do. So they've effectively become the enforcement wing. Don't let us catch anybody in your place of businesses working for you that ain't got no vaccine. Don't let us do that. Then we come down on you. So the businesses say, damn, we don't want that. We'll come down on the fucking patrons and on the employees. And it keeps going further and further and further. And this is why we continue to say that Gina Carano was right. And that was a fair assessment when I know people don't like to get immediately to, and to be fair, I don't either, start talking about what happened with the funny mustache man back in the 30s and 40s, early 40s. But we need to be historically literate and understand that the scene is being set for something that is going to be far more dangerous. This is a pro-segregation policy that continues to be implemented. Austria, of all fucking places. It's funny, talking about funny mustache man. Austria, of all places, is implementing a lockdown specifically for unvaccinated people. Right? You convinced all of these little minions that you have running around, these damn NPCs, that then have turned on their citizens, their fellow citizens, and made them to be enemies, not because of anything they've done to them, but because they haven't pledged allegiance to getting a jab with a 99% survival rate. And something that doesn't even prevent infection or transmission, rather. It does not do that. I mean, your beloved CDC, their own people say that. That's how cocky they are. When their own people can say that and y'all still running with something that isn't true and acting as if someone that, because they're unvaccinated, is posing some new and unique threat to you, it's nonsense. And they basically have admitted that. It just really goes to show how deep this runs. They have turned people on other individuals because of their vaccination status. And this will do nothing but get more and more dangerous. You know why? Because we've seen that. We've already seen it. We've already seen the rhetoric be ramped up where you get the president of the fucking country, which you think, and again, I'm a fucking anarcho-capitalist. I'm not fond of presidents, obviously. But y'all act as if he's so representative of the people. And he just flat out said the other day, I don't remember if y'all remember this weeks ago, he says I have to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. As if like he's not the person that's supposed to be helping all of them. No, this is a pro-segregation policy, a pro-segregation position. And a lot of people have a lot to gain from this perpetual can being kicked down the road. But I think a lot of it and most of it has to do with power. But this is entering dangerous territory. And it's going to keep getting more and more dangerous because the people keep going along with it because they've been softened up to be numb to what we did before. Right? It started with the 2 weeks to slow the spread. Now y'all don't even remember that. You have people walking around as if this is what is normal. I guess it's the new normal with face diapers on their face everywhere they go. It's fucking retarded. We've never done that over the course of recent modern human history. But yeah, here we are. Yeah, here we are. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense because you got softened up. So they got you to do that, which should have been a tall order, but they got you to do that. And now we're moving in, vaccines. Here they are. It's not good enough for them to be out. Now we need to force you to take it. But we can't just directly force you to take it. Let's get the businesses to do it. It just continues to get more and more aggressive. The rhetoric gets more and more bold and more We've covered people, these blue check marks who treat unvaccinated people as if they're like a threat to them and want to do harm. They want to do harm to unvaccinated people. Like, this continues to get ramped up, and we need to be careful and understand where this shit leads. Like, and at that point, it's not fucking funny. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.